条大街小巷，每个人的嘴里见面第一句话就是恭喜恭喜，恭喜你呀，恭喜恭喜恭喜你。On every big street and little alley, on the lips of everyone, the moment they meet each other is Happy New Year. Winter is almost fading. It is such good news. The warm spring wind has awakened Mother Earth. Torrents of melting snow. Look at the plum buds peeking out. Slowly the long nights are over. Listen to the crowing of the rooster. After so much hardship, enduring so many difficulties, how many hearts are longing for truly good news. 恭喜恭喜恭喜你，恭喜恭喜恭喜你。I hope this traditional Chinese New Year song brought you into the spirit of the Chinese New Year. These are my New Year wishes for you. 大吉大利，出入平安，新春大吉，一帆风顺，五门五福临门，万事如意。And 心想事成. I'll translate them later. But during the New Year season, the Chinese people, instead of saying 你好, they would say 2 or 3 of these New Year wishes to each other when they see each other. And I'm sure you know that the Chinese New Year is the most important festival in the Chinese calendar. It is like all of the festivals of the entire year rolled up into one. And according to the Gregorian calendar, you know it's the year 2021. But according to the Chinese lunar calendar, it is actually the year 4720. This year, the lunar first day of the year, meaning January 1st, falls on February 12th of the solar calendar. And February 12th in southern China is already spring. And that's why you hear many people say, Happy Spring Festival. 春节快乐. Now I'm going to show you how the Chinese prepare for Chinese New Year. Now pretend you're going with me back to my hometown of Hunan to celebrate Chinese New Year with my family in the old days. And this is some of the decorations that you would see all around. First of all, the doorways would be decorated with good wish couplets. May everything go smoothly all year. And may wealth pour into your house. Or may 10,000 things go your way this year. And this, of course, is the most important character in the Chinese language. It's the character for good fortune. Fu. And it's hung upside down because for good fortune to have arrived in your home, we would say 福到了. And the word for that character is put upside down. We would say 福到了. So because of the similarity in the sound of those two sentences, this character is frequently hung upside down. So the evil spirits that hear it would all go away. And a house around New Year's, and actually maybe all year round, would have many, many different knots. Because knots in Chinese is 结, is the symbol of togetherness. And Chinese New Year is definitely a time when everyone close to you would try to be together. Here's another Chinese New Year wish. 年年有余. May you have plenty year after year. And here's another one for good fortune. And also, do you see I have New Year animal signs, or the animal cycle posters around. Last year I should say, was the year of the rabbit. And 3 years ago was the rooster. This year, of course, is the year of the ox. And next year, you can look forward to next year, is the year of the tiger. Now, why do we have the 12 animal cycle? Well, it's legendary that the emperor invited all the animals to a banquet and said, if you arrive, the first 12 of you to arrive, we get a year named after you. And the rat was very, very clever. Asked the good old honest to goodness ox if he could ride on the back of the ox and arrive first. So that's why last year, the beginning of a new cycle, was the rat, and this year is the ox. And the Chinese usually consider the beginning of the new year a birthday year, a birthday. And so in China often, instead of asking someone how old they are, it is very common to simply ask them, what animal sign were you born under? And this way people can always guess your age, at least within 12 years. I remember my students were constantly trying to guess my animal sign, and once they got that, they were always guessing that I was 12 years older, or some of them thought I was 12 years younger than I was. But anyway, here's some more couplets. Wishing you peace, good fortune, longevity. Another one, may your new year be full of wealth, happiness, and good health. And I just want you to see the animal cycle painted by my good friend from Huxian County, the place where peasant paintings became famous, not only in China, but all over the world. Mr. Zhang Qingyi, when he was here to celebrate the Year of the Dragon with us, with the Chinese community here in the Twin Cities, in the year 2000, which was also the Year of the Dragon, and at that time, everyone realized it was a very special year, because for the Dragon Year to coincide with the beginning of a new millennium only happens every 3,000 years. So we have to wait till the year 3000 for that to happen. Here we have the animal cycle in sequence, and I'll say them in Chinese. 鼠牛虎, 兔龙蛇, 马羊猴, 鸡狗猪. Okay, we all know this by heart. This way we can figure out each other's names. So, and you also notice that all the decoration is in red, because red is a symbol of joy, happiness, honesty, truth, and sincerity. Now, all the preparations for Chinese New Year are almost complete, like decorating the house in red with all the couplets and the New Year's symbols for happiness and good health. The house is complete, ready, clean, and swept well. Now, let's turn to the preparation for the Chinese New Year banquet, when everyone in the family hopefully will gather. Naturally, most of the foods at a Chinese New Year festival are the usual foods that the family enjoys. But I just want to highlight a few dishes or foods that are symbolic for the new year. And that's why these are the foods that will definitely be in everyone's home. First, the dumpling. Dumpling is a must for Chinese New Year because dumplings are, you notice, they are made in the shape of old Chinese money. So eating dumplings will bring you wealth, okay? Foods are all prepared nice and round, so it's important to have the meatballs, or like in this case, these are rice balls filled with sesame seeds, delicious. You must have the nian gao. Nian gao is Chinese rice cakes because rice cakes are very sticky, and stickiness is an important thing to remind all of us that family must stick together, okay? Then the other thing you must have, of course, is peanuts. Peanuts in Chinese is hua sheng, sheng meaning births. Hopefully the next year the family will welcome some new babies into the family. Then apples. Apples is 苹果, and 平 also means peace. May you have peace. And oranges, 橘子. 橘子 is also a homonym for the word good luck. So apples and oranges and tangerines, rice cakes, dumplings, rice balls, meatballs, peanuts, and finally, the very last course in every Chinese banquet, even when it's not New Year's, would be the fish. I'm sorry, I don't have the real fresh fish to show you, but fish. One of the wishes is 年年有余, which means may year after year you will have fish. But what you're really saying is may year after year you will have plenty. You will never be wanting. So, Chinese New Year lasts for 15 days. Okay, preparations are all set. The very first celebration is the Chinese New Year's Eve, which is called Yuan Xiao. It's time for the family reunion. Everybody in the family, no matter how far they are, will try to be home for that New Year feast. And the most important part of the New Year's Eve banquet is not only the foods that you'll be eating, but the beginning part. The beginning part when all the food is prepared and the table is set with candles and with the photos of the most recently deceased grandparent or parent and all of the ancestors. And then the family would line up by age, one by one, to approach that table of quote-unquote worship. It's really a remembrance table with the photos of the most recently deceased family members. One by one, from the oldest to the youngest, would bow, 3 bows. And in the old days, I remember we knelt down and hit our head on the floor. And that was called kowtow, katou, to show our respect, our love, and our gratitude for these ancestors who have brought us into the world. And so, after that ceremony, the rest of the family would then enjoy the feast and stay up all night long, eating more food. There's so much food usually, and play games. Games like riddles. Everybody would make up riddles or look for riddles to stump the other member. And play mahjong, of course. And I remember most playing poker. And because I was the youngest in the family for quite a long time during my childhood, I was always my father's partner. He and I would be poker partners, and we would win. We would always win the poker game. And one year, I remember we won so much money that I didn't know what to do with it. But soon, about 2 weeks later, China was taken over by the communist government, and all that money that we got was invalid. And so I remember that so well, when everything was lost. All right, after New Year's Eve, of course, the next 3 days after New Year's Eve are reserved for visiting family, other family members, or other family members visiting you, bringing treats, mostly food, flowers, and definitely the Chinese hongbao, red envelope. I have so many of them. They are so beautiful now. In the old days, they were just a little red envelope, but now I'm sure most of you have seen all kinds of hongbao with money stuffed in there. Now, I just wanted to also tell you that some traditions that we observe during Chinese New Year's. One is what not to do. Okay, the house is all clean, at least for the next 2 weeks. So absolutely no sweeping, no vacuuming, because so much good luck and fortune have poured into the house that you don't want any of that to be swept away. And also, no use of knives, because knives and scissors or knives in Chinese tradition is always a piece of bad luck. You know, you'll cut off your good relationships. So no appearance of the knives, and no breaking of anything, especially not round things, because you want everything to be round and smooth. And definitely no swearing or yelling. I remember as a child being told that whatever happens during those first 3 days of the new year will probably repeat itself over and over again throughout the year. So you don't want to do anything bad during those first 3 days. You want to do everything that you want the rest of the year to be like. And older people will consider those 3 days time to settle all your old businesses. Go to friends and apologize to them for what, maybe how you have offended them during the year. And pay your debts, definitely. And give your gratitude to the people that you need to express gratitude to. So, as you can see, that Chinese New Year is truly a celebration of the continuity of life, the continuity of life and family. And so the celebration goes on for 12 more days till the end of this festival. And some of the celebrations are private, in home, but outside on the street, in public places, there would be bands and parades of people dressed up in characters, sort of like Westerners do it during Halloween, characters from Chinese folk stories. Or we would watch lion dancing and dragon dancing. Sometimes the dragon dances would be 100 people from one family who would lead the dragon dance through the streets during those days. Because you know, the lion and the dragon are regarded as animals with supernatural ability, and they are very good, along with the firecrackers and the loud gong and drum noises, are good at making lots of noise and chasing all the evil spirits away from where you live. Finally, the new year ends at the Lantern Festival. And on that day, the 15th of the month, every family would have all their lanterns hanging out, inside and out. And I remember we used to make lanterns out of tangerine peelings. And, carefully peel the tangerine without disturbing the outside, and put a candle inside and then get in a parade as families down the street. Remember now, that's in February, and many, many places in China are already enjoying the warm spring air. And that's how the Chinese New Year comes to a lovely close. Now, I would like to end my little presentation on Chinese New Year with a poem. The poem or a prayer. It is really, truly a reflection of Chinese philosophy and Chinese beliefs. And as you know, the three pillars of Chinese philosophy and belief are Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. Buddhism is about being a good person so that you will have a better life in your next life. And Taoism is about your relationship with nature, keeping it in harmony. And Confucianism is about your relationship with each other, with people, with members of your family, your workplace, your community. A Chinese blessing. Let all things be healthy, happy, and peaceful. Be sure to count your blessings at least once a day. Forgive those who have hurt you and those who have offended you. But first, forgive yourself for what you have done and what you have failed to do. That which is done, there is no need to speak about. That which is past, there's no need to blame. Have self-control, self-knowledge, self-respect, the courage to dare. Be tranquil. The light of intelligence will shine. Strive to make the spot where you stand beautiful. Then the beauty and harmony will follow you in all your ways and through all your days. 恭贺新喜 Happy New Year.
Hello, my name is William Zaitchik. I'm the president of the Minnesota-China Friendship Garden Society. The Garden Society has been working with the City of St. Paul and St. Paul's sister city in China, Changsha, to create as authentic a China garden as we can at Phelan Regional Park. I'm here today to wish everybody a Happy New Year, Year of the Ox. Consider celebrating your New Year at Yuming Yuan, Garden of Whispering Willows and Flowing Waters. Experience the quiet magic of sitting inside the Shanzhan Tang, overlooking Lake Phelan and Master Lei Yixin's sculpture meditation. If you're so inclined, help us complete phase 1 of this garden by donating to the New Year's Matching Gift Challenge. And again, Happy New Year.
this year is the 30-year anniversary of the sister city relationship with Changsha in Hunan, China. So the idea was to build this China garden around that sister city relationship.
They took a look around and they saw the water of Lake Phelan, the trees behind us, the stone bridge just over to the west. It just really hit them that this was the perfect site to develop a China garden in St. Paul.
我们这一行人都是第一次来。
This is the first time we've been to United States. We felt St. Paul people are very friendly. I hope the Chinese pavilion will be the bridge between the China people and the St. Paul people for a long, long time to come.
It turns out that the ancestral home of many of the Hmong that we have here in St. Paul come from an area just outside of Changsha, China. And those symbols represent the Hmong that are here in Minnesota, as well as the Hmong that are in China.
Such a beautiful piece of art for all citizens of Minnesota, the U.S., and the world to enjoy. We have had this dream for so long, and to see this be realized right now, it's beyond our wildest imagination of how beautiful this could be.